It's the Southern strategy, the Southern strategy, the Southern strategy.
Is pretty anomalous.
And I want to point out one other thing about Wisconsin and Senator Johnson's closing message, which
Tell us about that, because you made a reference to it on Sunday night. But for those who hadn't seen it, tell us a little bit about what happened.
Well, Senator Johnson's closing message was decidedly racist and racial against the Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, who obviously is African American, and the idea that Johnson ran on that closing argument, and that race is still as close as it is, says to me that the people of Wisconsin saw through what Ron Johnson was doing and did not allow racism and fear dictate how they were going to vote. If racism still had the power and hold over the electorate that it has had in the past, I'm not saying racism is over or anything like that, don't get me wrong, but if it had the same power as it had in the past, we would be talking about Ron Johnson has held on to his seat.
Right.
And that's not what we're talking
Especially
about.
because there was a steady drumbeat of that throughout this campaign.
For weeks, if not months, from Senator Johnson.
They decided to make it their closing argument because, and you know how closing arguments work. You look at all the options you got and you say, what's the stickiest thing? If that was all they had, right? It's like they didn't have another message to pivot to.
Right.
All they had was that line.
I will say, because I go back to talk about Pennsylvania all I can because I spent a lot of time there. Alan Smith, our reporter there, has tweeted out what would have been an unthinkable result in Pennsylvania is now in play. Democrats winning the governor and Senate battles, winning all three of the swing House seats, and taking control of the state House for the first time in more than a decade. And of course, our friend Michael Cohen retweeted that and said Democrats need to send a Christmas card to Doug Mastriano. So, in Pennsylvania, that succeeded. In Wisconsin, it hasn't fully succeeded, right? Ron Johnson becoming a unusual character hasn't fully settled in, and what we are waiting to see is whether it worked in Arizona.
I think in Wisconsin, what's interesting also is the incumbency factor. I think that's not.
So it comes down to the Southern strategy, okay? And if Mandela Barnes loses, it'll be because of the Southern strategy. It's great that it's so close, but you have to respond to racist ads by using agape love, bringing people together. Those ads were horrible. Take a look at them. Horrible. But the Southern strategy is on the ropes. And so if Mandela Barnes loses, he can run again, and he'll win. People of Wisconsin, with the proper ads, will definitely see through it.